Hey everybody, this is Brenda from Phydeaux Designs and Fiber. So I'm in my office with 2 bins full of mini skeins. I thought you might kind of enjoy seeing a behind the scenes look of mini skeins, and I apologize for poor lighting in this room, but I don't have the overhead light on because I'm taking photos and I want this little bit of sun left of natural light to be the focus. So right here, I'm sitting down. I have a bin and another bin. They're little short bins so that I can easily reach into them, filled with mini skeins that I put together last night. I actually had big tall bins filled with one, single or even extra sets of mini skeins that have amassed over the last, 6 or 8 months. About every 6 months I go through this process. And what I do is I just start putting mini skeins in a huge pile on my table, sort them by color, and then start putting together basically a puzzle. I'm looking for 5 colors that strike my fancy and seem to go really well together, and then I put them immediately into a pouch and seal it up so that they don't fall out, or I don't lose it, or a kitty cat doesn't help itself to a mini skein. We have a few kitty cats around here, though they're not supposed to be near the yarn. And what I was trying to focus on last night was trying to put more of gradients together. And I think that even with variegated and some speckled and other colors, I managed to largely get some gradient sets together along with some nice bright, really one-of-a-kind mini skeins. So that's almost all of my little single leftover mini skeins. I'm gonna guess there's at least 20 bags, I imagine, there. So then today, after we spent the day in town running some errands, town is over now, is just under an hour away. Now I have them on the light table. So this, in all Phydeaux photos, you see the antique doily, and this is an antique doily. This is, I think it's Edwardian. I have 2 antique doilies. I just had the other one that I bought on Etsy from a fantastic vintage and antique seller, Kathy from 5 Gardenia. 5 Gardenia or 5 Gardenias? It's the number 5. It's not spelled out. 5gardenia.etsy.com. And so this has become the quintessential bit of lace edge that you see in all of Phydeaux's photos. So this is a set that I just pulled out of my bag. And I have my handy dandy camera, one of the best investments ever made. And I use natural light. Here we're looking out onto the driveway of our property. And early morning or late afternoon light is fantastic. They call that the golden hour of light in the photography world because the light quality is softer and more golden. As you get later in the morning and then throughout, of course, noontime and early afternoon, the light's really bright and can be harsh. But in the earlier morning and later afternoon, it's coming in at a lower angle. I think when it's 45 degree or lower angle, and somebody out there saying you don't know what you're talking about, that's okay. Then the light is a little more subdued, it's more filtered, and it's more golden. And that's what makes natural light magical for photos. So what I'm trying to do is to get a nice crisp edge. That looks pretty good. And then I want the light, the natural light, which you can see hitting my hand here, I want it to hit the yarn also, and I want the front of each skein to get a bit of that light. The white and the yellow are going to reflect more light, so I put them in the back. Because you can see, even if they're reflecting light, that they're paler and whitish or yellowish. The deeper colors absorb light, and so I put them closer, also because it'll be easier for my camera to focus on them. So let's try this. I have to look through the... Okay. That looks pretty harsh. I'll be taking some more of those photos. And then what I do is I just take the last 2 and I plop them on top. Come here, baby. if it cooperates. This is going to be a tough one because I have these really two dark colors next to two really pale colors. So I may have to move this further back into shadow where it's not, there's not as much of a battle going on where it's both reflecting and absorbing light. So that's what happens. And I put them back into the bag, like this set right here. And then once I get all of those photographed, I'm going to be editing those photos. The first thing I do is start deleting all the blurry ones, and then I go back through and pick the best couple of photos for each set and get them to the right dimensions and adjust the contrast or the brightness as I need to. And then I create a listing on my website for each of these. Most of them will be one of a kind. And then I let you know that they're ready. Because you're getting this email, they're ready. So that's how I put together mini skeins. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, this is Brenda from Phydeaux.